One of the more recent examples of Satan's elites waging spiritual and psychological warfare against the American population is found in the movement known as Black Lives Matter. It will be remembered that the Masonic ritual sacrifice of violent criminal and pornographer George Floyd serves as BLM's patron saint. What most Americans don't realize is that not only are BLM's leadership admitted lesbian Marxists linked to Freemasonry, they too are practitioners of African Voodoo. Patrice Cullors, Alicia Garza, and Opal Tometi, who is of Nigerian descent, are members of the Prince Hall Freemasonry-linked Bully Black Secret Society. The spiritual dogma of BLM is based on West Africa's consortium of over 3,000 witchcraft cults, known as Oju Ifa. BLM's Council of Witches, Cullors, Garza, and Tometi, are utilizing the African witchcraft religion of Oju Ifa, which focuses on 16 points of demonic possession and libation, also referred to as liquid darkness. Black Lives Matter is pouring libations out across America to venerate the progenitor of Africa, Canaan the vampire. The BLM plague spreads its demonology through its 16 chapters across America and Canada. Each of the BLM chapters represent a name of a demon within the African witchcraft cult of Oju Ifa. Every BLM chapter leader across the US and Canada are either a witch or warlock, and their principal objective is to wage spiritual warfare against the Christian West.
Spirituality is at the center of Black Lives Matter. And I think that's not just for us. I feel like so many leaders and so many organizers are deeply engaged in a pretty important spiritual practice. I don't think I could do this work without that. I feel like in our traditional practice, and people who practice, traditions from West African places, one of the big is remembering your ancestors. And I feel like part of the story in the building of BLM was about remembering and remembering our people, not based off of a white supremacist memory, which would be about, slandering them and putting their names in the newspaper and showing their mugshots, but instead remembering them from the place that their mothers and their fathers and their family would want us to remember them in, even if we didn't know them personally.
We become very intimate with the spirits that we call on regularly, right? Like each of them seems to have a different presence and personality. I laugh a lot with Waukesha, and I didn't meet her in her body, right?
Yeah.
I met her through this work.
It's a very important practice. Hashtags for us are way more than a hashtag. It is literally almost resurrecting a spirit so they can work through us to get the work that we need to get done. I started to feel personally connected and responsible and accountable to them, both from a deeply political place, but also from a deeply spiritual place. And always, in my tradition, you offer things that your loved one who passed away would want, whether it's like honey or tobacco or things like that. And it's so important, not just for us to be in direct relationship to our people who've passed, but also for them to know we've remembered them. I believe so many of them work through us.
The Holy Bible tells us, once we leave this dimension, there is no returning, nor are we capable of communicating with those we've left behind. Hebrews, chapter 9, verse 27 reads, "And as it is appointed unto men once to die, but after this the judgment. As we are told in Scripture, there is both the woman's seed and Satan's seed on God's creation." Genesis, chapter 3, verse 15. Those watching over God's creation are referred to as ministering spirits. Hebrews, chapter 1, verse 14. And those unseen forces, conspiring with the children of the devil, are called familiar spirits. Acts, chapter 16, verse 16 reads, "And it came to pass, As we went to prayer, a certain damsel possessed with the spirit of divination met us, which brought her masters much gain by soothsaying. The Holy Bible also warns us, on several occasions, regarding the practice of witchcraft. Deuteronomy, chapter 18, verses 10 through 12 reads, "There shall not be found among you any one that maketh his son or his daughter to pass through the fire, or that useth divination, or an observer of times, or an enchanter, or a witch, or a charmer, or a consulter with familiar spirits, or a wizard, or a necromancer, for all that do these things are an abomination unto the Lord, and because of these abominations the Lord thy God doth drive them out from before thee." To learn why white Europeans are being murdered at an alarming rate throughout the world, please watch our documentary, White Devil Deception, at whitedevildeception.com. We will also provide a link below. If you are a first-time visitor, please subscribe. By doing so helps keep you in the loop and up to date on future uploads. If you enjoyed this particular video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with friends and family. Thank you.